Everything you see in this Pandas project, the data, the code, the final solution, is linked in the description. And in the next few minutes, I will show you exactly how it all works. So let's get started. So in this project, we will be analyzing the product data using Pandas library. So first of all, to start that project, we will make a folder, and the data file which you will be downloading, put that file into that folder and create a notebook file in that folder also. After that, we will be opening it and first of all importing the pandas library in which we will be working. After importing it successfully, you will download that CSV file into a data frame using a pd.read CSV function. After reading that, you will just do the df.head and we will check if the data is correctly imported. So yes, this is our data set in which we have month, channel, sub-channel, product names, categories, quantity, and sales. Although this looks normal, but there are some data cleaning needed in this project. So you can see the product names. They are all in capital letters. The sub-channel names are on capital letters, and the channel is just normal. The month, we don't know actually if this month is actually a date or just a text. And the sales and quantity is also in text. So we will start the data cleaning process. So to start the data cleaning process, we will first find out the information about the data frame, which we will be doing by df.info function. After running this, we will get an output like this that shows that we have total of 224 entries in this table. The first one is like for month, which is an object. Now, the name is actually, this is a date column, but the name is actually month. We don't want this as month, and we actually want this as a date time. Another one is quantity and sales. These two must be in integer, but they are in object. So let's get started with sales. So we will first try to typecast this sales column into an integer column. So to do that, we will first fetch the df sales column, and you will use this method dot as type, and we will pass integer. We will pass so that it will get converted into an integer. But as we run it, we get an error. This is a long error, but when you reach the last line, you can see this is a value error, which is showing this invalid literal and for this number. Now the integer could not convert this number into a number because there are commas, and this actually has stored as text. So we first need to convert this text into a proper number so that 428700 should be in a number format. For that, we first have to write a function. So we created a function called clean amount. We will use a def clean amount and then pass a number to receive this as an argument. After starting, we just replace the number which in which we have a comma with nothing. So the comma will be removed from here, and after that, when the comma has been removed, we convert this into an integer so that the number get converted to an integer, and after that we return this. For checking this, we just pass the same number to the clean amount function, and it successfully cleaned this amount and converted it into a number. After that, we have seen that the two column has the same problem for quantity and sales. So we have to clean this. So we used a sales column and apply this function, the clean amount, and which will clean the sales. And after that, we updated the sales column with the new values. And we did the same for the quantity. We applied the clean amount function on the quantity column, and we saved the changes into the quantity. After that, we check the information, and we can see that the quantity and sales are both in integer. Okay, we can also use dot head to see if the quantity and sales are showing as number and without any error. Now the second thing is, now the sub channels and the product name, they both are in capitals. We want them in our title case. So we use a function which will we apply on subchannels dot apply, and we use a lambda function in which we have created an x and use an x dot title. This x dot title actually is a text method which convert a text into a title case in which the first letter of a word is always capital and all the other are in smaller case. Okay, so we created this lambda function and applied to this subchannel, and we later on stored that into a subchannel so that the changes get permanent. We did the same thing for product name. We applied this lambda function and stored that product name, and after that we used df.head so that we can check if the product name and subchannel get cleaned. So now we can see that the product names and the channel names are all in clean format. Now we have cleaned this much data. Now the only left is that month column. We have seen that the month, first of all, it has a name of month, but it is a date column and it is not in a format of date. So we will first convert this. Let's see what is inside this month column. So we use df.unique, which will give us an array. There are only four type of data. Like these dates are only presented, and the data type is an object. Object is treated as a text. We will be using pandas toDateTime function. This function is used when you have to convert a string type of column into a date time of column. So we will use this pd.toDateTime column, and we will pass the df month column into this, and it will return us a date time column, which we will be storing into a df date column. Okay, after that we don't actually need this month column, so we deleted this month column. After that we use df.head to check if the data frame has been worked. So we get this date column in which all of the dates have been successfully converted into a date. Now after cleaning this data, we will move to the data analysis question which we will be answering. So the very first question is to find category wise total sales. This is a very simple question which we will be using, like from df.group by. Group by is used when you have a question in which there are two main things. First is a category and a numerical column which we have to aggregate. So the categorical column will be in the group by, and we will use square bracket to pass the sales column into it, and we will pass dot sum, and this will create us a category wise sales. The next question is find top 5 most sold products. Ignore the packaging quantity. Now this question is a little bit interesting. So we will first use product name and total sales, and we will analyze the result which we get. So we will first use df.groupby, and we will pass the product name into it and the sales column, and we just aggregate it using the sum. We get this result. Now just look close into it. All of the products which we get here in this, just focus in these two. You can see this is a aloe vera juice skin gel, 150 gram. Like both are the product are actually same, but they are of different packaging. Like total sales of 500 gram is this, and this total sales of 150 grams is this, but actually the product is same. But because of the packaging quantity mentioned in the product name, it make those two a different category, which we don't want. So we want to ignore the packaging quantity. In this question, we will have to separate them. The product name and the packaging quantity should be separated. And we only need the product name, which will be like this. So how can we do this? Uh, we cannot just directly remove this 150 because we don't actually know if somewhere there is 1 liter, somewhere it is written like 150, somewhere it is in 60 capsule. So any number can come and any measurement quantity can come. So how we can separate them? We need to write a function in which we will be getting this name as a text, and we will start from the left hand side. We will count we will uh, count every text, every character, and when we find a number, like in this it was 2, we will split from it here. We will split this text from here and return only the left hand side column, left hand text. Okay, so we write a function called clean name in which receive as text. After that, we use the for loop in the text. So for loop, we will get every character in this I. After that, we will check using if I dot is digit. Is digit is actually a text method which check if the character in which is stored in I is actually a digit or not. If it is a digit, it will return true. If it is not a digit, it will return false. Which true or false will be later on delivered to if. So if the character is a digit, which will actually happen where, it will actually happen here, then we will get insight to this and we will return the text by splitting it using I. If we run only this, we will only get this text. Okay, because currently I will have 2 in it and it will split by 2. So the two text will be this text and the this text. Now the problem is it will return us as a list, and we only want from the starting element which has an index position of 0. So we use a slicing in which we get the position of 0, and later on use dot strip because some mostly the names will every time will have a empty space at the end. So we use dot strip to measure it. Now after that, we check the clean name function, and after passing it this text, we get the correct result. After that, we applied this function which successfully cleaned this name to the product name column and stored it into a product name only column. After that, we use df.group by product name only and using total sales in it. Now the product column which we get is now a good, which will work. Now the quantity, packaging quantity has been successfully removed from it. For the third question, which is which month we had the highest sales, using this data we have to find out which month the product has the highest sales. So we actually don't have any month column, we only had a date column. So first we will have to find a month column. Using date column, we first fetch the month name using .dt dot month in a date column. Now, this method will only work when the date column is in proper date time data type. It will not work on a text column. So we have already cleaned this data. So we have a date time in this. So we will be using .dt dot month, and it will fetch the month names. Okay. So we have stored that into df dot month name column. Later on, we used the same new column for group by. We use df.group by on this month name column and use the sales column and use the aggregation. After aggregating, we get a list of all the month and their total sales. We sort that data into an ascending order, no, ascending, descending order. So for that, we just use ascending equals to false, and it still will, we will receive all of the column, but we only want the top one. So we use dot head and one. So at the end, we get this March, which had the highest sales. Now the question number 4. Okay, top 3 products in each category. Now this question first, understand the scenario to answer this question. There are different categories and every category has multiple products. This question is asking us to find only top three products in for each category. Uh, for solving this question, we will first do it step by step. And the very first step is to get the product, category, and product total sales. So we used df.group by, in which we have two levels. First, the category level and the product name level. So we will pass a list in that group by function. After that, we use sales column as an aggregation and pass dot sum. Now we will be changing this series. So we stored that in an aggregated data frame. So the very first time we will get this data frame, there are these three categories and there are multiple products in these categories. Now, the next is we have to make it as a data frame. So we just pass this into a data frame and reset the indexes. So we get a clean aggregated data frame, like we get these categories, the product names, and their total sales in this. After that, we will be using an rank function. Now, to use we ranking on the products for each category, we will be aggregating the data again. Now the aggregation will only happen to the category level because we have to rank the category only, not the products, because product are already, there are only single product in their own category. So we will be using the df.group by on category and sales. And now this time we will use dot rank, and we will store that rank in an aggregated rank column. So now we will get these ranks. Now these ranks are on the basis of sales because we have passed the sales in it. Okay, so we get this. After that, we have filtered the data frame into where the rank is less than equal to 3. So we will only get the products which has a rank of equal to or less than 3. Now this is the data which we finally get after filtering out that these are the three categories, and every category has only three products. Like juice has only three products, this government nutrition has three, and this functional nutrition has three products. After that, we just use a sort by to sort the data in descending order. For that, we use an aggregated data frame dot sort values. Now there are two levels in which we will be using for sorting. First is category and then sales. So first the category will be arranged in ascending order, and then the sales will be in descending order. Okay, and this, and the last we just drop the column rank from this because we no longer needed that column. Now the next question, the fifth question, channel and sub channel wise total number of orders. We have to find total number of orders for every sub channel. So we will be using df.group by. Up now there are two main categories and one aggregation. So we will be using a list in group by. So we will be using df.group by, and in that we have passed a list, and we can use any column, although we should use an id column here, but we don't have, so we just using date column, and we used aggregation dot count. This is a line continuation so that this code can be concisely write in new lines. So after dot count, we just use dot reset index so that the index, which is channel and sub channel, could be reset, and we just rename this date into number of orders. After that, we get something like this, and we just sorted them. So for sorting, we used df matlab, sort values by channel. So first the channel will be sorted, and then the number of orders, and then we arrange them in ascending equals to false, which will be arranged in descending order. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe and follow for more projects like this.